The impossible signal. The asteroid designated Nova Station hung in the void like a malignant tumor against the starfield. Not a natural formation, it had been hollowed out, reinforced, and transformed into the Galactic Federation's solution for humanity's most problematic individuals. Those whose intelligence, creativity, or determination threatened the careful balance of power the Federation had maintained for millennia. Dr. Kira Vega pressed her palm against the viewport, watching the distant stars shimmer beyond the energy shield that prevented both escape and unauthorized communication. 6 months into her 20-year sentence for destabilizing research in quantum entanglement communication, she had memorized every visible star, still hoping someone's coming to rescue you. The voice belonged to Commander Dravix, a silicate with crystalline growths protruding from gray skin. His species oversaw most Federation detention facilities, their natural resistance to empathy making them ideal wardens. Just appreciating the view, Kira replied without turning. Something you wouldn't understand. Dravix's crystalline features hardened. Meal distribution in 10 minutes. Don't be late again. His heavy footsteps retreated down the corridor, echoing off metal walls designed to amplify sound and prevent prisoners from whispering. Nova Station housed 300 humans, each selected for their dangerous potential. Quantum physicists, genetic engineers, AI architects, revolutionary leaders, individuals whose work or ideas threatened Federation control. The station boasted 7 layers of security, including neural inhibitors, constant surveillance, and isolation fields that prevented any form of unauthorized communication. The Federation considered it escape-proof. Humans considered it a challenge. In the communal dining area, Kira took her designated seat beside Marcus Thorne, a former military strategist imprisoned for developing unauthorized defensive adaptations. Their trays contained the same nutritional paste they received each day, formulated specifically to maintain human biology, while suppressing certain neural pathways associated with creativity. Section 4 maintenance cycle starts in 2 hours, Marcus muttered, his lips barely moving as he stared at his tray. Their conversations had developed into a precise art. Brief exchanges during moments when surveillance had predictable micro-gaffes. Kira nodded imperceptibly. The message was clear. Their plan was moving forward. 3 tables away, Sasha Lin, a nanotechnology specialist, deliberately knocked her cup over, creating a momentary distraction that drew guard attention. In that split second, Marcus passed Kira a tiny object beneath the table, a modified neural inhibitor node she had requested. By lights out, Kira was in her cell, the tiny metallic component hidden in a crack in the wall beside her bunk. The Federation's greatest mistake had been concentrating humanity's brightest minds in one location, with nothing but time and desperation. Late that night, when Nova Station rotated to its darkest cycle and power fluctuations were at their peak, Kira retrieved the component and attached it to her standard-issue meditation band, a device the Federation provided to calm human aggression. What the Federation didn't understand was that the meditation bands operated on frequencies remarkably similar to their own surveillance systems. Kira had spent months observing the patterns, the fluctuations, the moments when power diverted to life support systems created microscopic gaps in monitoring. With trembling fingers, she completed the final modification and placed the band on her forehead. For 3 minutes, she sat motionless, eyes closed, her mind focusing on one sequence of thoughts. Not words, but mathematical patterns. Complex quantum equations that describe the very fabric of space-time. Across Nova Station, in isolated cells, 12 other prisoners wore similar modified bands, each contributing different elements to a collective thought pattern that formed something unprecedented. A consciousness-driven quantum network that existed outside traditional communication spectrums. It shouldn't have worked. Federation scientists had determined human consciousness lacked the coherence to form stable quantum entanglements. They were wrong. 3 light-years away, in the Rigel Scientific Academy, Professor Zixara, A veterinary xenobiologist specializing in cognitive evolution noticed an anomaly in her quantum receiver, a device designed to detect patterns in background radiation. She adjusted her sensory appendages, certain she was witnessing equipment failure. The patterns were organized, deliberate, impossible. Back on Nova Station, Kira collapsed on her bunk, exhausted but triumphant. Their first broadcast had transmitted mathematical proofs of advanced quantum theories that the Federation had classified and suppressed for decades. Theories that would revolutionize communication, energy production, and transportation if widely known. Over the following weeks, the broadcasts continued, each more complex than the last. The prisoners developed a rotation system, conserving energy while maximizing transmission time. Former rivals became collaborators out of necessity and shared purpose. In her lab on Rigel, Professor Zixera had assembled a team of researchers from 7 species, all sworn to secrecy. The transmissions they were receiving defied existing understanding of quantum mechanics, information theory, and consciousness itself. "These can't be natural phenomena," declared Dr. Nellis, a Cephalon mathematician whose 4 brains worked in parallel. "The precision, the complexity, this is communication." "But from where?" asked Zixera, her translucent skin pulsing with excited bioluminescence. And more importantly, from whom? The answer came in the 43rd transmission, a simple biochemical signature embedded within the quantum mathematics, a signature any xenobiologist would recognize instantly. Human. Zixera's laboratory erupted in controversy. The Federation had classified humans as a Level 3 containment species, intelligent but dangerous, permitted limited technology, and restricted to specific sectors. The idea that humans could transmit quantum-entangled communications across light years without technology was more than remarkable. It was terrifying to those who supported the Federation hierarchy. "We must report this to the Central Council," insisted Dr. Vilox, a Federation loyalist. "And have this discovery buried," countered Zixera. "These transmissions contain mathematical solutions to problems our finest minds have struggled with for centuries. Whatever the source, this knowledge deserves study." The debate spread through academic channels, carefully at first, then with increasing boldness. The transmissions continued, expanding to include not just scientific theorems, but also historical data, evidence of systematic suppression of human potential, classified records of human innovations that had been deliberately sabotaged, diplomatic communications revealing Federation fears of human adaptability. On Nova Station, the prisoners expanded their network. What began with 13 became 50, then 100. Each broadcast stronger, more coherent, more impossible to ignore. Commander Dravix noticed the change in the prisoners, something in their eyes, a certainty, a purpose that hadn't been there before. Security scans revealed nothing. Surveillance showed no unauthorized communication. Yet somehow they were different. Coordinated. "Increase neural inhibitor strength by 20%, he ordered. "Implement random sleep cycle disruptions. Separate any prisoners showing synchronized behavior patterns." The measures came too late. The quantum network didn't rely on physical proximity or traditional communication methods. It existed in the space between thoughts, in the quantum fields that permeated reality itself. Federation intelligence finally detected the anomaly 6 months after the first transmission. By then, the broadcasts had reached 27 star systems, been downloaded by hundreds of academic institutions, and sparked a scientific revolution that could not be contained. In an emergency session of the Federation Security Council, Admiral Genkar of Intelligence Division presented the evidence. "Nova Station has been compromised," he stated, his reptilian features rigid with controlled fury. "Somehow, the human prisoners have created a communication system that bypasses every security measure we've implemented. They are transmitting classified information, experimental theories, and Federation diplomatic records to multiple sectors." "Impossible," declared Councillor Vrix. "Nova Station was designed specifically to prevent any form of communication." "Nevertheless," replied the Admiral, "it is happening. The broadcasts are increasing in frequency and complexity. They've already reached the Rigel Scientific Academy, the Centauri Alliance, even sectors of the Outer Rim previously thought beyond our communication range." "How are they doing this?" demanded High Counselor Trellbacks. The Admiral's expression darkened. "We don't know. Our best analysis suggests some form of consciousness-driven quantum entanglement, but according to all our understanding, such a thing should be impossible, especially for humans." Silence fell over the council chamber, broken only by the soft hum of life support systems. "Then we have no choice," said High Counselor Trellbacks finally. "Nova Station must be neutralized. Immediately and completely." The order was given. 3 Federation battlecruisers departed from the nearest military outpost, armed with enough firepower to reduce Nova Station to cosmic dust. The operation was classified at the highest level, communications restricted to quantum-encrypted channels thought to be impenetrable. Yet somehow, the prisoners of Nova Station knew they were coming. Reclassification. Federation battlecruiser Inevitable Justice dropped out of hyperspace 5,000 kilometers from Nova Station, flanked by sister ships Righteous Decree and Sovereign Authority. Commander Lixet stood on the bridge, mandibles clicking with anticipation as the prison asteroid came into visual range. "Weapons systems online," reported his tactical officer. "Targeting solutions locked. Awaiting your command to commence primary bombardment." Lixet raised a clawed appendage, prepared to give the order that would eliminate what the Federation now recognized as an unprecedented threat. Before he could speak, his communication officer interrupted. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission from Nova Station." "Impossible," Lixet hissed. "All communication systems were remotely disabled. It's not coming through standard channels, sir. It's everywhere. In our navigation systems, life support monitors, even the personal communication devices of the crew." The main view screen flickered, and the image of a human female appeared. Dr. Kira Vega, though Lixet didn't know her name. "Federation vessels," she said, her voice calm despite the circumstances. "We recognize your intentions. Before you proceed with your planned destruction of Nova Station, we suggest you consider the implications of your actions." Lixet's compound eyes narrowed. "This is Commander Lixet of the Federation fleet. You are in violation of multiple containment protocols. Your transmission will not prevent the execution of our mission." Kira smiled. "We're not trying to prevent anything, Commander. We're simply expanding your understanding of the situation. At this moment, our quantum broadcast network is transmitting to over 1,000 scientific and academic institutions across the Federation. These transmissions include detailed records of human history within the Federation, including the systematic suppression of our development. Propaganda will not save you," Lixet declared. "Not propaganda, Commander. Federation intelligence records, diplomatic communications, classified research. The truth." Kira's expression remained composed. "Additionally, we've just transmitted the complete specifications of your vessels, including targeting systems, shield frequencies, and power distribution networks." Alarms spread across the bridge as officers frantically checked their systems. "A bluff," Lixet insisted, though uncertainty crept into his voice. "Your primary shield generator cycle every 3.7 seconds, creating a momentary vulnerability at junction points 17, 42, and 93, Kira continued. "Your quantum torpedoes require a 2.1-second targeting lock before launch, during which they're vulnerable to specific electromagnetic frequencies. Should I continue?" Stunned silence fell over the bridge. These were highly classified tactical specifications, unknown outside the highest levels of Federation military. "How did you?" Lixet began. "The same way we've been broadcasting for months," Kira replied. "Through channels you don't understand and can't monitor. The same channels that are now transmitting your tactical information to every sentient species classified as restricted or contained by Federation protocols. On Rigel, Professor Zixera convened an emergency meeting of the Interspecies Scientific Consortium, a body representing researchers from 27 different sentient species. The quantum transmissions from Nova Station had increased exponentially, now including not just scientific theories, but also Federation military specifications, classified diplomatic communications, and suppressed historical records. "This cannot be ignored any longer," Zixera declared to the assembled academics. "The knowledge being transmitted challenges the very foundations of our understanding, not just of physics, but of the Federation's classification and containment policies." The consortium, traditionally cautious about political involvement, found itself at the center of a growing crisis. The information from Nova Station was spreading faster than Federation sensors could contain it, revealing patterns of systematic suppression that affected not just humans, but dozens of other species classified as potentially destabilizing. Back at Nova Station, the standoff continued. The battlecruisers maintained position, weapons locked but unfired. High Command demands immediate action, Lixet's second-in-command reported privately. They insist the humans are bluffing. And if they're not? Lixet responded, if they truly distributed our tactical information to restricted species, an attack could trigger simultaneous uprisings across 12 sectors. On the Federation capital world of Axion Prime, the full Galactic Council convened for the first emergency session in 70 years. Representatives from over 300 species gathered in the vast council chamber, anxiety rippling through the assembly. High Counselor Trollbacks addressed the gathering, his normally commanding voice trained. The situation at Nova Station has evolved beyond a simple containment breach. The human prisoners have somehow established a communication network that our best experts cannot detect or disrupt. They are distributing classified information across the Federation at an unprecedented rate. What exactly are they distributing? Asked the Alturian representative, their bioluminescent crest pulsing with concern. Everything, admitted Trollbacks. Scientific theories we've classified as destabilizing, historical records of species development manipulation, tactical specifications of our military vessels, diplomatic records revealing centuries of systematic suppression policies. The chamber erupted in chaos as representatives demanded explanations, their translator implants struggling to keep pace with dozens of simultaneous outbursts. When order was finally restored, an unexpected voice commanded attention. Professor Zixera of Rigel, granted emergency speaking privileges as the foremost expert on the Nova Station transmissions. Honorable representatives, she began, her translator conveying calm authority. I have spent months studying these transmissions. Their content is remarkable, not just for what it reveals about Federation policy, but for what it demonstrates about human cognitive potential. Holographic displays activated around the chamber, showing complex mathematical formulas, quantum theories, and comparative analyses. These transmissions originate from human consciousness itself, utilizing quantum principles that our science had deemed theoretically impossible. Yet they are happening. Moreover, the scientific advances contained within these transmissions offer solutions to problems our civilization has struggled with for generations. Energy production, faster-than-light communication, even medical treatments for conditions we've considered incurable. Murmurs spread through the assembly as representatives consulted with advisors and reviewed the data. What do these humans want? Demanded the Sigarian representative. The answer came not from Zixera, but from a direct transmission that somehow bypassed the council chamber's security protocols, projecting Dr. Kira Vega's image above the central platform. Reclassification, she stated simply. Humanity has been classified as a Level 3 containment species, deemed intelligent but potentially destabilizing, to galactic order. We propose our immediate reclassification to Level 1. Fully integrated Federation citizens with unrestricted research and development rights. Preposterous, shouted a Federation security official. This very situation proves humans are dangerous and unpredictable. This situation, Kira countered, proves humans are adaptable, innovative, and capable of transcending limitations thought absolute, precisely the qualities the Federation claims to value. The debate raged for days. Federation military leaders demanded immediate action against Nova Station. Scientific institutions advocated for research into the unprecedented phenomena. Diplomatic corps warned of potential uprisings if the information continued to spread. Meanwhile, the broadcasts continued, unimpeded by any Federation countermeasure. The humans of Nova Station had tapped into something fundamental about reality itself, the quantum connections that existed beyond conventional understanding. 7 days into the crisis, with Federation authority eroding by the hour, High Counselor Trellbacks called for a vote on the human proposal. The continued suppression of this information has become impossible, he admitted, mandibles clicking in agitation. We must adapt or face consequences beyond our control. The vote was not unanimous, but the outcome was clear. Human classification would be changed from Level 3 to Level 1 with immediate effect. Nova Station would be transformed from a prison into a research institution, with its inhabitants granted full citizenship and academic positions. When the decision was announced, Dr. Kira Vega stood with her fellow former prisoners in Nova Station's central chamber. The neural inhibitors had been deactivated, the surveillance systems shut down. Federation representatives watched nervously as the humans celebrated, their expressions revealing a lingering fear of what they had unleashed. They still don't understand, do they? Marcus said quietly to Kira as they observed the Federation officials. No, she replied. They think this was about freedom or revenge. They don't realize what we've actually discovered. What the humans of Nova Station had found, in their desperation, in their collective consciousness, was something beyond Federation understanding. The fundamental connection between mind and quantum reality, the ability to influence the fabric of space-time through coherent thought alone. The Federation had reclassified humans, believing it was granting them privilege, never realizing they were acknowledging a transformation. Humanity was no longer what it had been when the first prisoners arrived at Nova Station. They had evolved, transcending biological limitations and opening doorways to possibilities the Federation could scarcely comprehend. As the Federation representatives finalized the protocols for Nova Station's transition, Kira gazed out at the stars, the same stars she had memorized during her imprisonment. Now, they looked different. Not distant points of light, but future homes, future possibilities, the beginning of humanity's true emergence into the galactic community, not as subjects or citizens, but as pioneers of a new understanding of reality itself. The Federation had intended Nova Station to contain humanity's potential. Instead, it had become the catalyst for its evolution.